Tonight, our special transmission as Israeli intelligence warns of an imminent Iranian attack. Assalamu alaikum and good evening. This is Muslim News Canada on Muslim Network TV. I'm Aisha Ashraf. Today is the 313th day since the onset of Israel's war. In the past 24 hours, Israeli airstrikes have killed at least 32 Palestinians. 88 have been wounded. Israeli warplanes and artillery have struck various locations in Gaza, including the Burej, Deir al-Balah, and Nuseirat camps. Eyewitnesses report multiple homes destroyed and several bodies recovered from the rubble. An overnight strike on a residential building in Khan Yunis resulted in 15 deaths and numerous injuries. Casualties include children. Israeli forces have intensified their offensive in Khan Yunis. They claim to be targeting militant positions and infrastructure. Dr. Adam Al-Hamwi, an Egyptian-American physician, describes the devastation in Gaza as the worst he has ever seen in his 30-year medical career. The death toll from Israel's war is alarming. At the time of writing, at least 39,929 Palestinians have been killed since October 7th. 92,240 have been injured. Israel is accused of genocide at the International Court of Justice. The court has ordered Tel Aviv to immediately halt its military operation in the city of Rafah. Hamas says one Israeli prisoner held in Gaza has been killed. 2 others are critically injured in a separate shootout incident in Gaza. It is not clear under what conditions the hostage died. The Israeli military has yet to confirm these claims. Hamas had taken 251 Israelis as hostages on October 7th. It is believed that 111 are still held in Gaza. New Israeli intelligence reports suggest that Iran is preparing a direct attack on Israel within days. The potential attack is in response to the recent assassination of Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran. The alert comes as ceasefire talks are expected to resume in coming days. The intelligence indicates a possible large-scale assault involving missiles and drones targeting central Israel. In response, the U.S. has expedited military deployments to the region. Iranian statements suggest a restrained approach. However, Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant has indicated a serious threat. The United Nations Special Rapporteur on Violence Against Women condemns the inaction of countries with feminist foreign policies for human rights violations in Gaza. Reem Al-Salem says these countries have failed to address the devastating impact of Israel's war on Palestinian women and children. Al-Salem criticizes the lack of consistent advocacy from these nations. She says severe human rights abuses against Palestinian women are reported almost every day. Al-Salem says Palestinian women are facing increased miscarriages, malnutrition, and abuse in detention. She warns that the failure of the international community to act will set a troubling precedent for women's rights worldwide. Al-Salem's comments come as former Palestinian prisoners have detailed horrifying accounts. Former prisoner Nadia Al-Hilu recounts being held in an iron cage with other female detainees for 11 days in an Israeli facility. Al-Hilu is 45 years old. Al-Salem says these actions are carried out under the orders of Israeli Minister of National Security Itamar Ben-Gvir with the backing of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Al-Salem says the countries that champion women's rights must stand up at this critical hour. More than 2,000 Israeli settlers stormed the Al-Aqsa Mosque complex today in East Jerusalem. They were accompanied by 2 Israeli ministers. The far-right Israelis were marking the Jewish fast day, Tisha B'Av. The crowd was heavily guarded by Israeli troops. The troops restricted Palestinian access to the mosque. The settlers waved Israeli flags and performed Talmudic rituals. They entered through the Al-Mugharba gate. The gate is a common entry point for such incursions. The provocative move, endorsed by far-right National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir, has drawn sharp criticism. Ben-Gvir has visited the site multiple times in the past. The Israeli Prime Minister's office condemns Ben-Gvir's actions as a violation of the status quo governing the site. Pro-Israel donors in the United States have mobilized a significant financial push to challenge Congresswoman Ilhan Omar ahead of her primary this week. These donors have raised hundreds of thousands of dollars in a desperate bid to boost Omar's opponent, Don Samuels. The group has previously caused setbacks for progressive members, including Cori Bush and Jamal Bowman. The donors have amassed nearly $100,000 in a single day. Entrepreneur Michael Sinensky has been pivotal in his last-minute surge, rallying over $120,000 for Samuels. Currently, Omar is leading with $1.6 million of funds as compared to Samuels' $535,000. However, pro-Israel groups are intensifying their efforts to shift the election dynamics. Canada's incoming Human Rights Commissioner Birju Dattani has resigned before officially beginning the role. Dattani's departure comes after his past comments have been labeled as anti-Semitic by the Center for Israel and Jewish Affairs. A fact-finding report led by Justice Minister Arif Virani found no evidence of anti-Semitism. It pointed out that Dattani had used a different name, Mujahid, for his previous academic work. The findings did not directly implicate Dattani of anti-Semitism. However, the Center for Israel and Jewish Affairs and other Jewish advocacy groups welcomed his resignation. The group cites concerns over the potential impact of his previous statements and writings. The search for a new commissioner will commence immediately. Interim duties will be handled by Charlotte Ann Malishewski. The National Council of Canadian Muslims says the witch hunt against Dattani is utterly unacceptable and motivated. Dattani was raised as a Hindu. He converted to Islam in 2001 and adopted the name Mujahid. In 2007, he chose to go by his birth name of Birju Dattani. The name Mujahid remains a part of his identity. A Muslim security guard is being regarded as a hero after intervening in a knife attack in London's Theatre District in the United Kingdom. Abdullah sprang into action yesterday when he saw an attacker threatening two civilians. The knifeman was attacking an 11-year-old girl and a 34-year-old woman. Abdullah tackled the knifeman, disarmed him, and helped administer first aid until emergency services arrived. The girl's injuries are serious but not life-threatening, while the woman's wounds are minor. Social media has praised Abdullah's bravery. The users have highlighted that Abdullah is a Muslim and an example of how Muslims are an integral part of a multicultural British society. Thank you for watching. Our news is produced by Muslim Network TV, which is a nonprofit organization. We need your support for donations. Please scan the QR code on our broadcast or visit muslimnetwork.tv to donate now, so we can continue to amplify the voices of Muslims in Canada and abroad.